Hi guys, welcome back to Clare's Kingdom, where we talk facts, walk fierce, and remind the world that well-behaved women rarely make history. So today we are talking about male-centered women. Beware of male-centered women because they are very dangerous. They can put you in some very compromising situations or fail to recognize when you are maybe under oppression in the name of a man, in the name of men, in the name of the male gaze. But yeah, I got a few stories for you guys. I'm going to get right into it. So what is a male-centered woman? So male-centered women typically are just women who may have internalized patriarchy, internalized misogyny. So this means they value the male gaze, they value male acceptance or male attention over, let's say, the companionship of a woman or women. So for example, they may not, by the way, a lot of the time what I've realized, a lot of this is very subconscious. I feel like a lot of male-centered women are not even aware they are male-centered women, especially when it comes to, let's say, women in the older generation, like aunties, maybe even mothers, older sisters, older cousins, older work colleagues. So male-centered woman is just a woman whose ideologies, whose respect, integrity most of the time will revolve a man or center a man instead of the woman. A male-centered friend or a male-centered person, a male-centered friend or a male-centered person is not necessarily someone that just talks about men, someone that just wants to be around men or, be in communion with men, even though that could be part of it. A lot of it is just the way someone thinks. When someone's thinking just has to be around a man, or let's say there's a situation, a conflict, that male-centered woman is most likely to side with the man, even if you are clearly the one that was done wrong, or maybe you're the victim in the situation. They will very quickly be at the rescue of the man. And we see this in a lot of dysfunctional environments or families where there'll be an abusive male family member, for example, or an abusive male colleague, male boss, male manager, but people often protect him in the name of, I don't know, in the name of family, in the name of patriarchy, in the name of whatever they want to do. I'll say, I'm gonna share a few stories. So if you relate or see yourself with them, then you've probably been at the hands of a male-centered woman. So I'm going to start number one, a situation which happened between my friend and, let's say, someone in a position of authority, power, so someone that was over me. There's a situation where I'm going to say trigger warning for harassment, just to put it out there, but I was in the women's bathroom and this male figure walks in and just stands there. And of course my first instinct was to think, am I in the wrong place? Like, what's happening? Like, I was literally so scared, like, wait, did I accidentally go into the male bathroom? But I look around, I see the menstrual machine, like machine, so I was like, no, I'm definitely in the women's bathroom. And I remember I stopped and I looked at this man like what are you doing? Like, are you okay? Like, and they just stood there staring at me, and I remember feeling so mortified. Like, that was one of the most I'm not even getting into it, but I remember when that situation happened, they ran out eventually because I don't know what they were expecting. But anyways, I remember telling my friend, my closest friend at the time, and I remember feeling so like this is like one of the last straws I realized that this person was not my friend. But yeah, I remember telling her about the situation, and her first instinct was protect that man that had entered the bathroom, and she would say things like, oh no, they probably didn't mean it like that, they're probably they're just slow, I'm sure they're not like that, they didn't mean anything. Like, it was just like a lot of defending, and I remember feeling so disgusted because one thing about me, like especially how I used to be, I could look over certain things. Because, back in the day, when you're a people pleaser, when you just don't know your worth yet as a person, you may look over a certain red flags in a friendship, or especially like signs of jealousy or signs of envy. It's very easy to try, look over these things. But one thing I personally do not mess around with is the protection of women, because as women, we really go through a lot with patriarchy in society and even within our own community. But when it happens, when I see women doing the work of patriarchy or doing the work for the patriarchy, it's like, it really boils me. It's just something about me, no matter how I feel with you, it's just not going to run with me. And that was such a red flag for me, because it was like, not once did you try to sympathize or empathize with how I felt in that moment. Not once did you feel concerned about how I felt. They were just very quick to defend that person, defend the man. And then even after that, she swiftly brought the conversation back to herself, and that was such a red flag. And can you imagine, it took a stranger, like, there was a woman, a lady that I see sometimes, but we don't really talk. She literally was the only one, like, she literally empathized with me, like, oh my gosh, that must have been mortifying. Are you okay? Like, she was actually concerned. I was like, okay, yes, this is a normal reaction. Like, someone actually being concerned of my well-being, like, that must have been embarrassed. That must have been mortifying. Like, are you okay? That's womanhood. That's not even womanhood. It's human decency, And that's when I realized, yeah, my friend was a male-centered woman. And the thing is that the thing I personally do not understand about male-centered women is there's no reward. You don't get a cookie. There's no prize money. Like, there's no reward you get by defending the honor of a man that, by the way, you don't even know, you're not even related to, but you're very just quick to defend them. And that was one of my last straws of that friendship, to be honest. But moving on, there was another situation where there was a conflict within relatives or amongst relatives, and let's just say a male relative was getting very heated, and instead of me to cower or like accept the mistreatment, accept the aggression, I spoke up for myself and I defended myself. I remember after that situation, like, because there was obviously other relatives and people around, after that situation, I'm thinking, okay, people are gonna know that I'm in the right. I'm clearly being targeted, I'm clearly being mistreated, I'm clearly being this person with this male figure was clearly trying to intimidate me and inflict harm. I know that my female relatives, they will have my back, right? How I was wrong, because little did I know, days later, I'm hearing some of these female or some of my women relatives saying that I was disgusting. She's disgusting. I can't believe she did that. And when I tell you guys, I was so shocked to hear that. Me defending myself was disgusting. Me not allowing myself to be harmed was disgusting, guys. Me not allowing someone to put their hands on me was disgusting. And from that day, I realized, like, wow, people are really male-centered. And it was really scary because this is literally blood. And it's like, wow, if your blood can feel like that towards you, I don't know if there's hope outside of that. But that's when I realized, yeah, male-centered women can be anyone, guys. So beware. Like, they were so quick to defend the abuser in that situation rather than to just say that was wrong. No one should be getting heated or aggressive or physical with anybody. But in that case, it was so quick to be turned on the woman, as it tends to in society. And this also links to, like, you see cases where women may speak out about certain things that they've gone through, and society will be so quick to judge her and be like, okay, but what did you do? Like, this man, like, let's say if they were a respectable man or someone that people deem as respectable, then people are so quick to defend him, defend his honor. And don't get me wrong, I understand the cases where people are falsely accused and all this stuff, but I just feel like it's crazy to me how so many women will be punished because a man couldn't keep his hands to himself. That's a story for another day, though. Okay, but my point is, male-centered women will quite literally throw you under the bus. They'll quite literally drag your name, dehumanize you in the name of preserving the ego or preserving the reputation of a man. Okay, and lastly, I'm gonna go into another story with a relative where I remember we were having conversations about leadership, you know, the roles of partners, you know, a man, a woman, wife, husband, all these things. And I remember this is an older woman, and she was talking about how she doesn't know any woman that would want to lead. You know, most women want to just be, or she would just, you know, she said all and just want a man to follow. And of course, this is very outdated thinking. And I expressed that point. And then they were very adamant on saying that. And they were like, I've never met a woman that doesn't want to be led by a man. No one wants to lead, really and truly. And I was like, I'm right here. And then that family member was like, no. And that relative was like, no. Basically trying to put me in a box, trying to discourage or shoot me down, basically. Trying to say that if women are just so miserable or so incapable of being leaders of their own lives or leaders in their own paths or careers. And that was very scary to me, that I know a lot of, you know, past experiences, perhaps childhoods and all these things affect how people think. But just to wrap the video up, male-centered women tend to just have everything revolving around a man. And I feel like a lot of male-centered women, especially in the older generations, sometimes it is coping. So I try to have empathy and compassion, because when you're told your whole life you have to depend on a man, or you're made to feel your life is incomplete without a man, it's very understandable that you'll grow up and have these certain mindsets and things. But it's up to us to break these cycles. It's up to us to realize that, you know what, we can make changes. Women can lead. Women can earn and have respect. Women can build empires. Women can be their own bosses of their own lives. Of course, we have to take the steps and not internalize misogyny, not internalize patriarchy, because sometimes, guys, it'll be your own people. Like, as much as we can try blame men and say, like, you know, the patriarchy, and of course there's a lot of blame, there's a lot of injustices that needs to be sorted when it comes to the genders, but sometimes women themselves will reinforce patriarchy or reinforce misogyny. So we need to start from inside the house, because you can't take a fire out from inside the house. I think that's the phrase. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. It's a bit of a longer video, but I hope you guys got the point. Like, male-centered women, they're more common than you think, and you need to be aware of them, because, like I said, if it's a case between you and a man, all I can do is pray for you. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video for anyone that may need to hear it. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.